Hi everyone again. I wanted to make a video about why I am quitting, and this is going to be good for me to have when in a few days when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and I haven't slept in 2 days and I'm going crazy and I want to crawl out of my skin. I kind of want to look back on this video just to remind myself of why I am quitting. Like I said, I think I started taking kratom about maybe 5 years ago, and it always starts off harmless. I think I didn't find out about it on the internet. I wasn't looking for it or anything. I think I walked into a smoke shop to buy, I think, cigarettes at the time, and I saw this thing, and I was under a lot of stress at the time. The mother of my child, my fiance, she actually had a stroke, like a debilitating stroke, and so basically like the whole family was on my shoulders at this point, and I was trying to kind of carry the load, and I was doing okay, but I was sober at this time, but it was really starting to get to me, and I asked the clerk, what's that up there, and he's like, oh, it's good, it helps like with relaxation and improving your mood and all that, and I was like, well, gosh, I could use some of that, and I bought them, and it was just like one of the really small packets. It just had like 12 capsules in it or something like that. But, I took 3 or 4 of those. About an hour later, it was like, holy crap. I know this feeling. This is, to me, it felt like Norco or Vicodin or whatever you want to call it. And then I was kind of off and running. I started ordering bottles off the internet and taking more and more and more and more. And I did that for years. And I did the same thing everybody else does, which is I always had a cup of tea that was always kratom tea that I would just kind of carry around with me everywhere. And if anybody asked, what is that? Oh, that's tea, or that's a smoothie, or those are super greens, or whatever. Nobody even knew what kratom was at this point. This is like 2014, 2015. And so then I just used constantly up to a couple years ago when I finally decided I really want to stop taking this. I hit that point where, and I abused the hell out of it. And like, I have to make that clear. I was not using as directed. I was, just taking handfuls and handfuls of capsules. And, I never tried to stop because I kind of knew in the back of my mind that I couldn't. So it was just accepted that this is my life now. And but eventually, a couple of years ago, I realized like, okay, I need to stop. And then I tried the detox on my own. I'd make it 2 days, fail, make it 3 days, fail, make it 1 day, fail, and then finally, like, I just I ran to the 12-step programs for their help, and believe it or not, that worked. I was able to stay sober after that for about 6 months, and I'm not quite sure what spurred that relapse. It might have been something with work or whatever, or hell, I just wanted to use. But I relapsed, a year and a half. And just long story short, I've been kind of relapsing on and off for the last 2 years. I'll make it 4 months fail, make it 5 months fail, make it 1 month fail. And it's another important reason why I'm documenting this, because every time I would slip up, I wouldn't be honest about it. I wouldn't go home and tell somebody, or I wouldn't call my sponsor. I would basically go on a run for a good 30 days and then start taking other things, taking, Phenibut with it, and just kind of start making, drug cocktails. And so anytime I finally, get clean again and want to assess, well, what happened at that point? Why did I relapse? More times than not, I don't even remember. I don't know. So, this has been kind of a process of like understanding, what helps me succeed and when do I fail. So on this last go, I've been using kratom again since about July, and when I started using then again, it was a bad run. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what I was taking a day. I mean, it was just handfuls and handfuls of capsules, and I was taking those OPMS, the enhanced capsules, so it's strong stuff, and did that for a few months. It was actually a little bit of hell coming off of, I quit the Phenibut, but I stuck with the kratom. And, it gets to the same point every time. There's basically only 3 states. There's, in withdrawal, there's normal, and then there's wobbles. And there's nothing in between. I no longer get the euphoria from it. I'm just basically trying to maintain. And at that point, when you're just maintaining, it gets like, it starts getting pretty depressing. Your body starts getting weird. My skin's weird. I could just feel, just pound of sand just in my gut because there is one, And eventually just decided, the course this had to stop again. But I went about it a little bit differently this time. I actually, found some specifically kratom support groups, started doing weekly therapy, tried to get myself in the best shape possible going into this. And I really had to dig into my emotions and my past and everything, because obviously I was missing something. I knew I worked a lot of the steps, like I was a good AA guy, and worked a good program, and yet this was still happening. And going through therapy over the last couple of months, getting ready to do this quit, it became very apparent to me why I was having a hard time stopping. And that was because obviously, like, I didn't love myself. I didn't respect myself. Every time I did try to quit up to that point, it was all external motivation. It's like, well, I'm going to get married and I want to make my fiance happy, or, oh, this is costing too much money, or it had nothing to do with like me respecting myself. It's like, if it basically felt like, well, if everybody else doesn't know about it or they're okay with it, I'll just continue to trash myself and trash my body. So that's what I've been working on therapy for the last couple of months, and it's going very well as far as establishing what my values are, what kind of tools I have, my own identity, how I view myself. And that's all much better than it was before. So as far as why I'm quitting now, it's quite frankly, it's because this is awful for me. A lot of people out there, they know exactly what I mean when I say it's just the same merry-go-round over and over again. You think it's going to be different. You think you can maybe control this. You think you can maybe use these substances in a healthy way, and it just never happens. And cut to a year later, you're broke and sick and and just devastated. It happens every time. So, and I have a lot of good things going for me. I have a good job, a great fiance, a great kid, a nice house, cars, whatever you want. But I felt like I was still, like, by using kratom or any kind of substance, I'm just completely like kneecapping my potential. I know that there's a lot more in me, and I know there's a lot more that I have to do. But as long as you're in the state of using, nothing else is going to get done. That's been my life for the last 5 years, is pay my bills, make sure I have kratom. That's my life. There's no vacations. There's no, nothing. Home improvements, whatever. It's, wake up, go to work, and then take kratom. That's been my life. And I don't want that to be my life anymore. I want to have vacations. I want to be healthy. I'm 37 now. I'm not a kid anymore. I can feel this kind of taking more and more of a toll on my body. And that's got to stop. I realize as I'm getting older, there's probably not much, I don't know how much more time I have to like feel young and be active and all that stuff. And I don't want to cripple myself purposely with this kratom while I am still young. So, and then of course there are all the external reasons. I want to be honest and open with my fiance. I don't want to have to worry about, if I take too much around my son and I have the eye wobbles. Or I'm in a bad mood because I'm in withdrawal or whatever. I don't want to live like that anymore. I'm sick of carrying this crap with me. I'm sure everybody else knows, people have dealt with kratom addiction. You have bottles everywhere. You have bags everywhere. It's really is your ball and chain. And I'm ready to let that ball and chain go. So, and like I said before, if there's no judgment at all here. If you think kratom's great, that's awesome. Keep doing it. If it's not a problem for you, it's not a problem for you. I can't deny anymore that it's not a problem for me. It's a big problem. Probably the biggest problem in my life right now. And it's time to address it and address it in the right way. So I wanted to just get some of those words down and record it so I can look back at them. And if anybody has anything to comment or share, I'm all ears. All right, thanks, guys.